grab your coffee, your tea, your warm lemon water, whatever signature little ritual helps you soften into yourself for a moment. Because today, we're diving into a spicy one. So I watched The Cure for Wellness just the other night, which, let me just say, is not one of those cozy feel good wellness movies. No. It's eerie. It's unsettling. It's absolutely stunning visually. And it leaves you sitting there like, what the hell did I just watch? Rarely does a movie creep into the crevices of my mind and lingers long enough for me to put real thought into it. This movie made me consider a notion I've discussed recently with a friend about the way we're treating health and wellness these days. And honestly, it feels like the world has split into two different camps. On one side, you've got the fully holistic crowd: herbs, mushrooms, grounding mats, moon cycles, cold plunges, all the natural everything. On the other side, you've got the purely medical crowd. The "my doctor said it, so it must be true, no questions asked" sort of crew. And here's the kicker. Both sides can fall into the exact same trap. Following advice without ever pausing to ask, does this actually make sense for me? In the movie The Cure for Wellness, a young salesman is sent to retrieve a company executive from this remote wellness retreat in the Swiss Alps. The place is gorgeous, peaceful, almost idyllic. Everyone there believes they're healing, quote unquote. They say it over and over like a mantra. But their treatments? They're intense. Their side effects? They're absolutely getting worse. And yet, no one questions anything. Not the doctor, not the methods, not even the logic. They just keep insisting they feel better, even while their bodies are screaming otherwise. And that's when it hit me. How often do we do this in our real lives? We follow diets because they're trending. We try supplements because everyone's raving about them. We take medication because someone in a white coat said, "You need this." We follow natural advice because it's marketed as pure and clean. We trust testimonials because the stories feel so relatable. And look, we're human. We crave belonging. It's natural to want to do what everyone else is doing. But somewhere along the way, we stop trusting our own inner signals. When did someone else's opinion start weighing more than what our body is actually telling us? These are the questions that kept circling in my mind. At what point do we start paying attention to what our bodies are actually saying? How do we hear our bodies when the world around us is so loud? How do we separate our truth from all the noise telling us what our truth should be? Lastly, but probably most important, do we even remember what our bodies sound like anymore? Because whether you lean natural or medical, neither path is meant to be followed blindly. Media is chaotic. Advice is contradictory. Wellness is trending. Fear sells. And if you've noticed, the one-size-fits-all solutions never really fit all that well. Women rush out to buy a cream guaranteed to erase wrinkles. Men sprint toward protein powders promising massive gains. Teens cling to the product that claims to magically clear up their acne. all in the hopes of boosting confidence. But here's the reality: no single thing works the same for everyone. I had a friend taking her daughter to an esthetician for acne. They were doing the classic extractions, pricey products, monthly visits, and her skin, it would get better, but then it would get worse, then better, and worse again. One day, I was at their house and she asked me to look at her daughter's skin. I'm an esthetician, so of course I did. And immediately I noticed her skin was parched, no moisture, lots of irritation, and discoloration. I asked a few questions and recommended a handful of cost-effective products. Within a few days, her daughter felt a difference. Within a week, her moisture barrier was bouncing back. The mom was shocked. Not because the products were magical. They weren't. Not because they were cheap or expensive, but because they were the right products for her skin. I explained to her daughter, you need to learn the rhythm of your skin. Only you can recognize the patterns. You'll need to adjust, sometimes more of one thing, less of another, and your skin will tell you if you're paying attention. A month later, her skin was glowing, not perfect, but happy. I'm not sharing this to brag. I'm sharing it because this is exactly what we all do. We follow experts and ignore our side effects. We follow trends and ignore our discomfort. We follow the herd and ignore our intuition. Sometimes things get worse before they get better. I'm not necessarily buying into that, but sure, okay? But sometimes things get worse because something is wrong. Let me be clear. I try to be as natural as I can be. You know this, I've talked about it on the podcast. I love my saunas. I dry brush. I meditate. I'm all about mindful brewing and medical massages. But I also believe fully in going to the doctor when you need to. There are times when medical intervention is not optional, it's necessary. The point isn't choosing one side forever. The point is knowing when to choose which. And that's where real, mindful self-research comes in. Not the panic kind, not the WebMD diagnosed me with some rare Victorian illness. No, not that. I mean intentional research. Write your questions before your appointment. Ask why something is being recommended. Ask for alternatives. Ask about red flags. Ask what to expect and why. Record the answers if you need to. Not because doctors are untrustworthy, not because holistic practitioners are perfect, but because everyone, no matter the degree, is human, and every system has limits. At the end of the day, your body is your responsibility, not in a scary way, in a powerful way. When I was in my early 20s, I was put on birth control for painful cycles. A few years later, I read the little insert with the side effects, and my eyes popped out. I went back to my doctor and asked for something with fewer side effects. They switched me over to an IUD, and within a week, I was having mood swings that were completely out of character. I called the office, and they basically chuckled, saying, "Totally normal, your body will adjust." Nope, absolutely not. My body was practically waving a red flag. I had it removed, and I never went back to contraception after that. Well, not the kind that I take or insert. The point isn't that IUDs are bad. They work great for some people. The point is, my body said no, and I listened. So, how do you actually listen to your body, practically speaking? Silence hits first, not stillness, just those small pockets where the noise dims enough that you can feel. Check in without judgment. What feels tight, off, overworked, stressed? Those micro signals matter. Track patterns, not isolated moments. A tired day is normal. Consistent exhaustion is a message. Notice what improves or worsens. Your body reacts before your brain even rationalizes it. Give your body a seat at the table. Before you follow anyone's advice, including mine, ask, does this feel right for me? You're allowed to be both, natural and medical, intuitive and science-informed, open-minded and cautious. There is no right side. There's only what's right for you. And that's what the movie reminded me of. The danger isn't in choosing natural or choosing medical. The danger is in surrendering. Surrendering your authority to either. Your body is not a template. You are not a universal blueprint. You are complex, you are layered, and you are uniquely wired. Your wellness path should honor that, not flatten it. So here's your sip of the day. Is something feeling off? Pause, listen, check in. Your body always tells the truth first. So, which way do you lean? Tell me in the comments. Not because there's a right or wrong lean, but because knowing where you naturally drift helps you make choices with clarity instead of fear. And remember, you don't have to pick a side. You just have to pick yourself. Take a breath, sip something warm, and tune into whatever your body is whispering today. I'll see you next time.